Hello friends, welcome to Exam Tricks. The topic of this video is rocks, and in this video we will be talking about different types of rocks, their modes of formation as well as few examples. We all know that the earth's crust is made of rocks. What is a rock? A rock is an aggregate of one or more minerals. And what is mineral? Mineral is a naturally occurring organic or inorganic substance having an orderly atomic structure and a definite chemical composition and physical properties. Different kinds of rocks are grouped into three major families depending on their mode of formation. These three major rocks are: first, igneous rocks, which is formed after the solidification of magma or lava. Second is sedimentary rocks, which is formed due to the deposition of fragments of rock uh, due to um, due to weathering, and then carried on by exogenous processes. We will be studying details of how the sedimentary rocks or igneous rocks will be formed later on. Let us move forward. The third rock is the metamorphic rock, and evident from its name, it is formed out of existing rocks undergoing recrystallization. Now, the first major form of rock is igneous rock. Igneous is taken from the Latin word ignis, which means fire, because it forms from magma and lava. They are called primary rocks. When magma cools and solidifies, igneous rocks is formed. This process of solidification and cooling can take place both at the surface of earth crust or beneath it. And when magma solidifies at the surface of the earth crust, it is called extrusive igneous rock, while if it cools and solidifies beneath the crust, it is called intrusive igneous rocks. In this figure we can see that magma coming out of a vent at the surface of the earth solidifies, cools and solidifies and forms extrusive igneous rock, while the magma which went does not vent out from any opening, solidifies beneath the earth crust, forms intrusive igneous rock. In the second image we can see some few examples of igneous rock. Here we can see the basalt is formed when the magma solidifies at the surface of the earth, basalt as well as obsidian, while granite is the igneous rock which is formed due to the cooling and solidification of magma beneath the earth crust. Igneous rocks are classified based on the texture, and this texture depends on size and arrangement of grains or other physical condition, such as sudden cooling and great depths determine that the grains will be small or big, it will be smooth or rough. In this figure you can see various forms of intrusive igneous rocks such as dikes, sill, batolith, laccolith, etc. You can look at the images and determine yourself that when magma comes out from different openings, it takes different shapes and solidifies there. Sometimes when the lava moves upwards, a portion of the same may tend to move in a horizontal direction wherever it finds a weak plane, and then it may get rested in different forms. It, in some cases it develops into a saucer shape concave to the sky body. It is called lapolith. Sometimes a wave of mass of intrusive rocks is formed, and in the form of pillar like shape we can see in the image. They are called dikes. They are almost perpendicular to the ground, and it gets cooled in the same position to develop a wall like structure. In these dikes are found in western Maharashtrian area, while the horizontal bodies of intrusive igneous rocks are called sill. One thing important is here is that unlike sedimentary rocks, igneous rocks do not contain any fossils. This is because any fossils in the original rock would have melted when the magma formed. Now let us come to the sedimentary rocks. Sedimentary is formed from a Latin word called sedimentum, which means settling down. It is formed from the fragments of rocks, sediments transported and deposited by different exogenous agents, and which turn into rock through compaction. This process is called lithification. Years of deposition, layering by layering, their compaction, then cementation over the year turn them into sedimentary rocks. However, in this process, layers retain their characteristics even after lithification. Depending on the modes of formation, there are three major groups. First, one mechanically formed sandstone. Example of these are sandstone, conglomerate, limestone, shale, loess, etc. In this diagram you can see how from different particles, different sizes of particle, different forms of rocks are formed. From clay and mud, shale is formed. From sand, sandstone is formed. From sand and pebbles, conglomerate is formed. From sand and broken rock, breccia is formed. And in this diagram I have represented uh, the shale, sandstone, conglomerate, breccia in the terms of their increasing size. Second type of sedimentary rock is organically formed sedimentary rocks. These are, for example, chalk, limestone, coal, etc. These rocks formed over the period from the organic material. For example, we know that coal is formed from the fossil remain of the plants. Chalk is another organic sedimentary rock that is made of microscopic shells. When you write with naturally occurring chalk, you are crushing and smearing the calcite shell remains of once living ocean organisms. Another useful organic sedimentary rock is coal. Coal forms when pieces of dead plants are buried under other sediments in swamps. These plant materials are chemically changed by microorganisms. The resulting sediments are compacted over millions of years to form coal, an important source of energy. Third type of sedimentary rock is chemically formed. Examples of these are chert, limestone, halite, potash, etc. These kinds of rocks are formed by chemical processes and biochemical processes. For example, carbonate rocks by the secreting shells, siliceous rocks formed from chemical processes like silica replacing limestone, or biochemical processes like silica secreting organisms. Third is evaporites, which form from the evaporation of seawater. So these were the three types of sedimentary rocks. Now let us come to the metamorphic rocks. Metamorphic means change of formed under the action of pressure, volume and temperature. Metamorphism is a process by which already consolidated rocks undergo recrystallization and reorganization within original rocks. There are different kinds of metamorphism. First, dynamic metamorphism. It is mechanical disruption and reorganization without any appreciable chemical change, which means that there is no such major chemical change in the rock formation, but the reorganization without any chemical change. Another kind of metamorphism is thermal metamorphism, where the rock is chemically altered and recrystallization takes place. There are two types of thermal metamorphism. First is contact metamorphism and second is regional metamorphism. In the contact metamorphism, rocks come in contact with hot intruding magma and lava, and the rock materials recrystallizes underneath due to high temperature under high temperature. For example, granite, which we know that which forms under the earth crust after the solidification of magma, when it comes under the contact of hot lava, it transforms into gneiss. Same way, limestone also metamorphoses into marble. Second form of thermal metamorphism is regional metamorphism, wherein rocks undergo recrystallization due to deformation caused by tectonic shearing together with high pressure or temperature, or both. In this image you can see that how with increasing temperature different grades of metamorphic rocks are formed, from slate to phyllite to to gneiss. In the process of metamorphism, in some rocks, grains or minerals get arranged in layers or lines. Such an arrangement of minerals or grains in metamorphic rock is called foliation or lineation. and sometimes minerals or materials of different groups are arranged into alternating thin to thick layers appearing in light and dark shades. And such a structure in metamorphic rock is called banding, and rocks displaying banding are called banded rocks. Metamorphic rocks are classified into two major groups: foliated rocks and non-foliated rocks. Gneissold, granite, schist, slate, schist, marble, quartzite, etc. are some example of metamorphic rocks. As we can see that metamorphic rock is formed from both igneous rock and sedimentary rock, which means that rocks do not remain in their original form for long but may undergo transformation. And this brings us to the topic rock cycle. Rock cycle simply can be understood from this image only. In this image we can see that igneous rocks are primary rocks, as we have read earlier also. From there, weathering and erosion takes place through by various exogenous and endogenous agents. These weathering and erosion form igneous rocks into different fragments, sediments. These sediments then undergo compaction and cementation and become sedimentary rocks, which can again weather and erode and can again become the source of sedimentary rock itself, or they can go back to the source of lava and again form into igneous rocks. These sedimentary rocks also undergo metamorphism and due to heat and pressure and become metamorphic rock, which and metamorphic rock can again melt and become magma, which can again solidify after cooling and become igneous rock. In this way, the rock cycle goes on and on. With this, our discussion on rock formation and rock cycle comes to an end. I hope you like this video. Thanks for watching. If you want such other videos, kindly comment and subscribe to my channel.